Everybody's excited, of course. We're all, dealing with a little of the uncertainty, but we're having a good start to the year and
Really
optimistic.
good start.
Very good start. Thank you.
How do you shake things up? I mean, every company has to do this in their own way. Figure out the unknowns and figure out how to plan in any contingency.
Yeah.
What do you
I think for us, sometimes there's fewer unknowns than you actually think, right? You watch on TV, you hear about all the things that could happen, but then you look towards what's really happening. I spend a lot of time with our customers because they're one step closer to the front lines, and you'll say, well, here's what could go wrong, but yeah, business is pretty good today. And what we don't want to do is miss the opportunity when things are going well, just sort of cowering down. So we're preparing as if things were to slow down a little bit. But some of our areas, Joanne's business is responsible on the commercial side of the business, data centers, doing extremely well, right? I think she'll have hopefully her best year. And there've been some very good years prior to that. So there's a lot of pockets of that, and I think we're in a good spot on that. We did some things with during COVID and as sort of re-looking at where do we source our materials that got ready for this. So I think we are, that was a good test run, and we find ourselves in a pretty good spot. Still bring material in from overseas, but and wherever possible, sourcing, dual sourcing, and domestic manufacturing. And I think it's a great time to have a footprint in Europe and North America, which is where JM is. That's something we should be excited about, not nervous. So our employees, I think, are pretty excited, right? We tell them about that. And
even with housing starts, where they're at, demand's held up really well.
It has. And
a reflection of your product.
Long-term demand for housing is very strong, right? So, and as we look towards this, and we're in the middle of building a new line that's significant for construction insulation for housing, and we're moving forward with that despite this slowdown because we're confident the use of energy is going to continue to be challenged, right? So anything that reduces energy is something that will be a good tailwind for us, and there's just not enough homes in the country either, right? So we work through several organizations to increase the amount of insulation and to increase the number of homes, and to look at it on what's the cost of ownership over time? So you can build a tin home that looks really good, but when you go to live in it, it's pretty expensive, right? And we don't want to take away from the energy business. So.
No, that's okay. You're doing the right thing.
But together, the two of them are really good, right? And in fact, we work more and more on areas where we bring in renewable energy. We're working with Berkshire Energy on that right now to take renewable energy to run one of our facilities that will then save energy so that the net is a total positive. So.
Really incredible.
You ought to make a few sales around here.
Yeah, we're working towards, but folks like to eat dilly bars more than insulation. So but we're pushing on it. We get a lot of folks that get to see the uses for these products that go behind the scenes. We've got a product over there in GoBoard that Greg sees.
Yeah.
A few years ago, we didn't even have that. That's all assets that we already had in place. And our technical team came up with a product that allows you to install a shower in a day rather than having to bring crews back and forth. And it's just a very lightweight. So imagine normally two folks my size having to carry a cement board to build the shower. This you can hold with one arm, really lightweight. We've got stuff done that you can.
Feels like wall board.
It is, yeah, exactly, even lighter. And it's actually an insulation type product is where we got it from. And it has done a great job. A few years ago, we had little rubber ducks floating. It's watertight. We had rubber ducks with Warren and Charlie floating, and we're selling those for charity as we are today on our socks.
What was the resale value on those?
Resale value of the ducks, really good.
Yeah, not quite at the Squishmallow, but they did pretty well.